Hey guys, so here are some real world examples of how I have actually used this in real life. So one summer when I was in between teaching jobs, I kind of made some money by flipping furniture. So here's a project that was like really, really popular. I would take an old beat up table that I could find on Craigslist for like 10, 20 bucks. And then I would kind of sand it down and add this little like rack and wheels on it. And now it was a rolling island. And I swear, if you call it like farmhouse anything, like it'll sell like hotcakes. So keep that in mind. Um, and then I would sell this for like 150 bucks on Craigslist, and it usually took like a day to sell these things. They went really, really fast. So this is one way that I made some money, and I had to use this whole like measuring angles thing in order to build this little hanging rack that went underneath the table and some of the other projects that I did. And I had to use a miter saw. And the nice thing about a miter saw is like it will measure the angle for you. So I didn't need to bring out a protractor or anything. I could just set this little knob right here to whatever angle I needed to cut it at, and then it would cut it for me at that angle. The only problem was first I needed to figure out what angle to set it at. So in order to make this nice square corner, I needed to make it at a 90-degree angle. And I was taking two boards to add up to 90 degrees. So in other words, I knew I had to cut this 90 degrees in half to make this squared angle. So I had to take 90 divided by 2 in order to find out what angle I needed to cut it at, and it was a 45-degree angle. So there's like a real life example that you could use this. Um, I did a quick search on Etsy last night, and geometric bookshelves and stuff like that are like widely popular. This is one that's only like 20 inches by 24 inches and it sells for $100. Like they didn't even paint it or anything. They just put it together, cut, put it together, and they're selling it for 100 bucks, which is insane. Okay, and so one thing that you could do is figure out, like, if you're going to do something like this, you could always figure out the angles of these triangles, and then you just have to figure out the angle right here, and then you pretty much are done figuring out the math stuff in order to build this bookshelf and then sell it online for 100 bucks. Here's another example. I have a tree in my backyard that I want to build like this bench around my tree, just so that way I don't have to like trim around the tree anymore because that's kind of annoying. So I'm going to have to be doing a lot of like angle measuring in order to do this. And actually, my husband's like, no, that's too hard. We're not going to do that. He's the math guy in the family because he's an engineer. He doesn't know that I'm using this as a real life example, and I have now figured out the angles so that way we can build that this summer. So he's going to be super thrilled about that. I'm not going to go ahead and like go over like the math parts about that, but those are just some examples of how you might use this measuring angles skill in real life.